we will move on, but are grateful for his contributions to our system. I want to welcome anyone from any of our campuses or media or other officials who may be joining our live stream this morning. As everybody knows, it is commencement season. The chancellor spoke at Dyersburg State over the weekend, and she gave our graduates 2 words to remember, both of which she exemplifies: resilience and kindness. So well done, Chancellor. That looked like a great event.
Well, thank you very much. I did not know you knew my 2 words, so that's wonderful. So thank you. It was a great day at Dyersburg State, and thanks to all of you, because I know many of you also were speakers at graduations across the state. Bridget Reynolds being one of them. She drove all the way to Walters State to do that one, so thank you very much for that. But the business at hand this morning, Madam Chair and members of the board, it is my...
Chancellor, we've got to call the roll.
Let me back up. Let's call the roll.
Hey, I've done it before myself, as you well know. So at least one of us has to be on it.
I'm telling you, it takes a village.
Exactly. And speaking of commencements, before I ask her to call the roll, I want to share more outstanding news with this team. Some of you might have heard this already. But on Friday, our very own Mariah Perry became Dr. Mariah Perry at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Hear, hear. What will not surprise you all either is that she was also named the Outstanding Graduate Student for the Learning and Leadership Doctoral Program. So we are so proud of you, Mariah. Well done.
Thank you very much. I genuinely have appreciated all of your support, this group, for my doctoral journey, and it was a really special weekend to celebrate with family and friends.
Absolutely. Well, with that, Dr. Perry, would you please call the roll and let's make this official?
I'd be glad to. Since this is an electronic meeting, there are 2 questions that need to be answered by regents for the record. First, can the regent simultaneously hear and speak with others participating in the meeting? And second, is the regent alone in the room? If the answer to both questions is yes, the regent can simply answer yes to both questions. Anyone who is not alone should identify any other people present in the room with the regent. When I call your name, please answer these 2 questions. Governor Lee. Regent Apple.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Burdine.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Garten.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Gentile.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent George.
Here, yes to both questions.
Regent Gill. Commissioner Hatcher. Regent Hooper.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Kastner.
Yes to both questions. I'm here.
Regent Pilkington.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Powers.
Here and yes to both questions.
Madam Chair Reynolds.
Here and yes to both.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Here and yes to both.
Regent Roberts.
Here and yes to both.
Regent Stevenson.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Spurgeon.
Here and yes to both questions.
Regent Barlin.
Here and yes to both questions.
And Regent White.
Here and yes to both questions.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you very much. As you all know, we have been asked to meet electronically to review and consider the recommendation for the next president of Volunteer State and the search committee for the next president at TCAT Elizabethton, given very limited times in between the selection of the candidate the chancellor will recommend and the critical need to move on this search at TCAT Elizabethton. The assembly of a quorum to be physically present simply is not practical. Of course, this necessity to meet electronically has become for us a non-controversial and routine item, and I would propose that the necessity be adopted by unanimous consent. As always, if anyone would prefer to have individual votes on one or both of these items on the necessity to meet electronically, please object, and we will have a roll call vote. If there is no objection, however, the necessity to meet electronically is adopted. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the necessity is adopted. Thank you all very much. And now, Chancellor, you are up with your recommendation for the next president of Volunteer State.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. As you can tell, I'm anxious. I want to go ahead and get this confirmed today. Members of the board, Madam Chair, it is again my pleasure to bring this recommendation to you today for the next president of Volunteer State. As you all know, the board approved the search criteria and recruitment for the next president at Volunteer State on October 2023. Vice Chair Emily Reynolds served as the chair of the search advisory committee with Regents Mary Lou Apple, Regent Todd Kastner, and Regent Layla Garton also serving as committee members, as well as our representatives of the college's faculty, staff, students, and alumni, along with local civic and industry leaders. I truly do want to thank each and every one of you that are on the call today, and to those that even aren't on the call today, for your commitment and support to this search. We did have over 83 qualified applicants, so there was a lot of work that this committee did to distill down to this wonderful applicant that I'm bringing for you today. After careful review of the applicants' interviews and input from the search committee, Madam Chair, I am pleased to recommend to you Dr. Wendy Tosteson as the next amazing president of Volunteer State Community College. Dr. Tosteson has served as the Vice Chancellor of Education and Student Services at Louisiana Delta Community College since 2021. And prior to this appointment, she served as the Executive Director of Workforce and Economic Development there at the college. Dr. Tosteson has extensive experience in workforce and economic development, student affairs, and financial aid. She has a doctorate of public administration from Valdosta State University, a master's of business administration from the University of West Georgia, and most importantly, a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from the University of Georgia. She has plans to begin this new job on July 1st. So, Madam Chair, with the board's approval, that is my recommendation to you today.
Thank you, Chancellor. As search committee chair, I just want to underscore what Chancellor Tidings said. We had a great search committee, and thanks to everyone who took the time to read those 80+ applications. Just a word on how we functioned. As she mentioned, of course, we approved the criteria as a board in October. In January, late January, the search committee held its first meeting. And with those applications coming in over the next 90 days, we had a lot of homework to do. April was a very busy month for this group. The committee met on April 9 to review and select candidates for round 1 of interviews. 11 folks were interviewed on April 17 and 18. And then as a result of those interviews, 3 finalists were picked to visit campus, and they did so on April 24, 25, and 26. It was really a pleasure to work with this group on the advisory search committee, and I certainly support Chancellor's recommendation to offer this position with our approval to Dr. Tosteson as the next president of Volunteer State. I'm happy to make this as a motion, but I'm going to look to my 3 regents, my friends who also served on this committee with me, and see Todd, Leah, or Mary Lou, if you all would care to offer a motion or a second.
Motion.
Well, this is, okay, Leah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Leah. All right, we have a motion from Regent Garton. Regent Apple?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments from the 3 of you? Regent Kastner, anything to add?
No, I think it's a great choice. Thank you.
Excellent. Mary Lou, Leah?
One thing I do want to just say, Emily, I want to say a special thank you to the students who served on this committee. That was probably the most engaging group of students I've worked with. And I think it's so fitting that this candidate is so student-focused, and we have such great students that will join with her to make this such a great opportunity for Volunteer State. Thank you.
Beautifully said. Thank you. Well said. Anyone else?
I would like to say this is the first search committee I've ever sat in on, and it will unfortunately be my last as student regent. But sitting down, seeing over 80 applications, it was extremely overwhelming, and it took many, many days and lots of hours. But I think we definitely we found someone super, super special that I think will do a phenomenal job. And I'm super, super excited to welcome her into the college. And I would like to let her know that I more than likely will be a student of hers within a few years at Ball State.
Excellent. I know she will look forward to that. And Leah, like everything else you have done over the course of this term with us, you were once again an invaluable member of this search committee. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, you guys, without further ado, Secretary Perry, we need a roll call vote, please, ma'am.
Regent Apple.
Aye.
Regent Burdine.
Aye.
Regent Garten.
Aye.
Regent George.
Aye.
Regent Hooper.
Aye.
Regent Kastner.
Aye.
Regent Pilkington.
Aye.
Regent Powers.
Aye.
Madam Chair Reynolds.
Aye.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Aye.
Regent Stevenson.
Aye. Aye.
Regent Spurgeon.
Aye.
Regent Varlin.
Aye.
And Regent White.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Excellent. I know we all look forward to welcoming Dr. Wendy Tostenson to the Volunteer State community. She is here with us this morning. Any comments for us? I've not known you to be shy just yet in my brief time knowing you.
I just want to tell you how excited I am, how humbled and blessed, and I have had red and blue on since I walked on the campus last Friday, and I maybe had to go shopping and get some more red and blue. So just know that I'm very, very excited to be a part of the family, and I cannot wait to do amazing work with this amazing group. And I really want to say special thanks to the search committee, to the faculty, the staff, and the students and the community who came out and supported. From the moment I stepped foot at the campus, I felt like I was at home, and it has just made my heart happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We are delighted to have you on board. Yes, here we go. Round of applause. We are delighted to have you on board and look forward to you getting here as quickly as possible. I know you're ready to hit the ground running as well. And obviously from our whole board to the campus, as you mentioned, your success is our success. And we are here to help you in this transition and to help you be a very successful president at Volunteer State.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We will see you soon in person again.
Yes.
Thank you. Chancellor, I'm coming back to you for the review on the search criteria. TCAT Elizabethton.
Yes, ma'am. And before I do that, there are two things I'd like to do. First of all, I would like to all of us give a round of applause to Dr. Russ Deaton for serving as our interim president at Volunteer State. He has done an incredible job.
Yes.
And while the campus is thrilled about having Wendy join them soon, they are also shedding tears over the fact that they have to lose Dr. Deaton as their president. And I did assure them he's not going very far. He's going to be right here to still be a friend to everyone there and to give advice whenever. But we are deeply grateful, Russ, to you for all that you did. I know that it was a difficult situation to begin with, and you made it a very good journey for the college. So thank you. The other thing I'd like to do, too, is we talked about our wonderful new doctor, Dr. Perry, but I also want to remind you that Matthew Gann received his doctorate on Saturday. He walked at Trevecca on Saturday receiving his doctoral degree. So when you see Matthew, please give him congratulations as well. We are going to be full of doctors over at TBR and just moving that college forward and the whole system forward in so many ways. We're so fortunate to have such highly educated individuals working at the system office. So thank you and congratulations to Matthew. As Regent Reynolds said, we are unfortunately having to vote on criteria for TCAT Elizabethton. It does sort of hurt all of our hearts to have to do that this morning because David has been such an incredible member of our team. We have, all grown to love him. He's done a fantastic job for the system, but his heart is with his family who is still in Georgia, and he needs to make that journey back to Georgia. So I am asking you today to please approve the criteria for the next president. The search criteria was provided in your materials prior to today's special call meeting. It is the standard used for all TCAT president searches. The only difference is where it was modified with specific information about the college itself. Upon approval, the position will be posted and the recruitment process will begin. And I think all of you are aware that we're going to do somewhat of a modified recruitment process for this position in that we will have an interim president joining the college immediately as soon as David leaves, which is David's last day will be June 28th. I have asked Dr. Heath McMillan to step in as our interim, and he will begin there on June 28th. So, Madam Chair, if I could ask for approval of the search criteria for TCAT Elizabethton.
If there are no questions for the Chancellor on this, we would call for a motion, and I'm looking at Regent Burdine, who probably also has a heavy but understanding heart of this. Would you care to offer the motion for approval?
I move for approval.
Thank you, sir. And a second?
A second.
Thank you. Who was that, Vanessa?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I thought that was your voice. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on approval of the search criteria at the TCAT Elizabethton? Hearing none, once again, Secretary Perry, would you call the roll?
Regent Apple.
Aye.
Regent Burdine.
Aye.
Regent Garten.
Aye.
Regent George.
Aye.
Regent Hooper.
Aye.
Regent Kastner.
Aye.
Regent Pilkington.
Aye.
Regent Powers.
Aye.
Madam Chair Reynolds.
Aye.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Aye.
Regent Stevenson.
Aye.
Regent Spurgeon.
Aye.
Regent Barlin.
Aye.
And Regent White.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all. Chancellor, any further announcements or comments this morning?
No further comments this morning again, but to thank everybody for their time for these important details for today.
Thank you. And we thank you for leading this amazing team with resilience and kindness. We're very proud of you all. Thanks, everybody, for carving out a portion of your morning. 2 quick announcements and reminders, and obviously Mariah keeps us informed on these as well. May 29, we will once again meet by Zoom. That's our regular committee chair session, but we also have audit that morning and finance and business and personnel and compensation. So that will be a busy morning for us with the addition of those latter 2 committees. That schedule will be coming from Mariah in the very near future. And then, of course, we're all looking forward to being in West Tennessee and Jackson in June 13 and 14 for our board meeting. So with that, and once again with congratulations to Dr. Tostenson, and as Chancellor said, a heartfelt thanks to Russ Deaton. That concludes our meeting this morning, unless anyone has anything for the good of the cause. Hearing none, we're giving you back your day. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you on May 29. Thanks, you guys. Have a good day. We are adjourned.